Greetings, my minions. It is I, Cthulhu 2, once again on the KoST server. Today, I want to get into doing a little work for the server. I've been doing stuff for myself quite a lot, and I'm kind of hitting a wall of creativity as far as that's concerned, so I figured I'd start doing a little something for everybody. And I was going to do a little... Excuse me, sir? I was going to do a little beautification project for the end portal room, but I believe Guido is going to be doing something there. I asked Tiny, and he said someone else had already asked about that. I was going to do something in here. I had seen a screenshot, I think it was on Reddit or something. Someone had one of these rooms that they found in an ocean, like this was open to the ocean, and you could see water behind there, and he had replaced the bars with glass panes, and I thought it looked really cool. And I was going to put some grass and stuff on the floor and whatnot. But if Guido's going to be doing something, I'll leave him to it. Instead, I just asked Tiny if I could beautify the end a little bit. And he said that's fine. It looks like someone's already started, though. This is really sweet. I've done something like this in my own world before, and I really enjoyed it and liked how it turned out. And this is very similar. Cool. Anyway, yes, I would like to do a little bit of work here. And, oh yes, and we have a new player, Wogscraft1. So, yeah, I haven't really met him yet. I'm recording in the evening, and he said it was about 10 a.m. where he is, so he's somewhere across the water from me. So, welcome, Wogscraft. He has a channel. Is it still on the chat? No, it's not on the chat anymore. But I'll put a link in the description to his. I think it's just the same as his name, maybe without the 1. Anyway, check him out. I should have a link for you guys if you're interested. So what I'm thinking of for the end here, nothing too fancy, but I want to put in a nice road, I think, to get to the portal, which is right over there. And I want to put in grass and maybe some water features and some trees and stuff and just make this a little more inviting. It's a little harsh as it is right now, if you can't tell. And then one other thing of note before we get going is I am trying Fraps out this time. If you've been watching the channel for a while, you'll be familiar with the fact that I've been using Camtasia. The reason I'm trying out Fraps now is while I was recording Journey to Retaliation with MoGully37, the guy who made the map, I noticed that I was getting a lot of lag even with my new hardware, and I was very disappointed by that. So I have decided I'm going to try Fraps out instead and see if it treats me any better. That's off to a good start. I've kind of shied away from it just because it is very hard drive intensive. I only have a 500, well, I have 2 different 500 gigabyte hard drives, but I mean, the file sizes do get really huge really fast before you compress them. But I'm kind of willing to give it a shot now because Camtasia is just kind of pissing me off, to be quite honest. And also, the video editor for Camtasia is decent, and it's been doing me pretty well so far, but I think it's time to try out something different there as well. So we'll see how this turns out. Hopefully it won't be too bad, but it seems like it's doing better for me already. But yeah, when I was doing Journey to Retaliation, it was just nasty. I mean, even with my new hardware, I was even turning the render distance back down to short, and it was still being pretty mean to me. I'm not sure if that was because there was a lot of stuff going on in his map or what, but I was not pleased. And sadly, the video quality of the episodes I put out aren't that great because of it, so I apologize for that, but hopefully people can still enjoy them. Anyway, we're going to get down to beautifying here. I'm going to try to flatten... Well, maybe I shouldn't flatten stuff out too much. It might be nice to have this look a little more interesting. So I'll just round this off, maybe try to make these edges look a little more natural. And, oh, we're getting a lot of spawns already. Let's see. Oh, I should put this guy down. I have a few resources tucked away in here just in case I die, because I didn't bring any armor or weapons or anything, so I've got some backup stone bricks and just random goodies. And yeah, I don't want to die if I can help it, but sometimes you can't help it in the end. Where are we? Okay, I'll need to fill that in, and I need to make this look a little bit nicer. like so. That's good enough. I guess this is all going to get replaced with dirt anyway. I'm just rambling. Let's see, I did bring a crafting table. Huzzah for me. We'll do that. Do a little bit of munchies. Nom nom nom. And let's keep going here. I need more stairs already. That was very short-sighted of me. Let's see. This may not be the best place to start it because we're kind of coming up from here. But that is where I had dug out already. Oh, Silver Logs is on. But yeah, I'll figure that out eventually. I'm just going to get the groundwork laid out for now. So let's go ahead and make some more stairs. We'll use up what we've got here. Right and left clicking. Huzzah. Excitement. Yeah, I came a little unprepared here. But we'll just get the basics done. Gosh darn it. I know I'm going to end up looking at an Enderman here. In fact, did I look at that guy? He looks a little spazzy. I guess they always are. So yes, got new hardware, trying out new software. We're going to see how things made up here. I'm really hoping to start increasing the quality of these videos. I appreciate you guys have been sticking around even though I have low render distance, low graphics, or Cthulhu graphics as Tiny likes to point out. So thanks a lot for sticking around with me. I know there's people out there with much higher quality content, so I appreciate you choosing me. Well, you're not necessarily choosing me over them, but you know what I mean. Anyway, let's start doing some digging here and getting some grass going. Because I think that'll look very, very nice. And Tiny Bat says, "Oh, it's a part!" There, I helped him. You're welcome, Tiny. And I think there are a couple other new people besides Wogscraft. I've noticed some new places in the Nether Hub, but I have yet to meet any people or be told about them by Tiny. So I don't know what the state of that is. Let's see, what else can we talk about? I am recording on the Saturday evening before the Super Bowl on Sunday. Kind of excited about that. I mean, it's never a big deal when your teams aren't playing, and sadly my team isn't playing. But on the other hand, it's kind of nice because I don't really care who wins. It's not a big deal. Yeah, like 49ers, I don't really care about too much, so I don't think I'm going to be rooting for them, per se. But it should still be an interesting game. Kaepernick, pretty cool, really teared up the Packers, which I'm very happy about. That was a fun game for me to watch when they kicked the Packers out of the running for the Super Bowl. It was a good day. My wife would say otherwise, but I enjoyed it myself. Yeah, it's weird though. The Super Bowl, it almost seems like it's a bigger time for ads and for getting together and eating junk food and stuff like that. And the halftime show, it seems like those are a bigger deal than the game itself nowadays, which is kind of funny. But it works. I mean, the ads are pretty entertaining usually. And I really don't care about the halftime show though. Usually it's not an artist that I care about, except for when they had The Who. That was pretty amazing, because The Who rocks my socks all day and all night. Okay, I'm not that big of a fan, but they are really good. I'm just a big fan of classic rock in general. I think I've yammered about that before. Kind of jazz, heavy metal, and oldies are my thing. I love that stuff. So yeah, that was cool, but usually if they have like Lady Gaga or Justin Bieber or Carly Rae Jepsen or something doing the Super Bowl halftime show, I really could care less. In fact, you'd have to pay me to sit through that. Not my cup of tea in the least. Yes, I am looking forward to it. It should be fun. I don't really have anything big planned for the big game. I think there's going to be like a pizza party at church or something like that. But I don't think that's going to be during the game. It's just going to be a pre-game kind of thing. So the wife and I will probably sit at home, maybe get some booze, because I'm old enough. Don't drink booze if you're not old enough. It's not that big of a deal. But yeah, I'll probably have some booze or something, have some pizza, all that good stuff. Living the American dream. Feel sorry for all you Europeans who only have soccer. or football. No, I'm just kidding. Soccer really doesn't do it for me, but it seems like people who love soccer are just crazy about soccer, like more so than football fans. I don't really know why. I've watched some soccer. I definitely have a lot of respect for people who play soccer because that is a lot of running all the dang time. So props to you guys who can actually manage to do that. But as far as watching it, I don't know. It just doesn't strike me. Actually, I guess watching most sports doesn't really do it for me. I'd rather play them, especially like playing sport games, video games. That's never done it for me. I don't know. I just rather be out doing it myself. Pretty much the only exception for me is football. I love watching football. I do love playing it, but I can't say I'm good at it. But I do love watching it, but I hate watching baseball. I really hate watching basketball, even though that's probably my favorite sport to actually play. I don't know why that is. I just don't feel interested in it if I'm not participating in it, if that makes any sense to y'all. Alright, so this pathway is coming along fairly well. Wish I had brought more materials. And what I'm thinking of for this walkway, besides it just being this simple path, I think I want to have a little archway over it every once in a while. I probably looked at a bunch of Endermen there. Just a simple archway. I hear a grumble. I'll probably get some like broken and mossy stone bricks and stuff like that just to spice things up a bit. But I think that could make it a little more interesting. And I am getting a lot more end stone this way, which I'm very happy about. Alright, so I'm going to do some digging so I can replace this stuff with dirt, and I'll think about what else I could chit-chat and ramble on about, and I'll see you guys in a bit. Ooh, I just thought of something. So the other day, my wife and I, for some reason, were reading up on this really interesting guy named Michael Larson. So first, some backstory for the story. If you guys have ever heard someone use the phrase, big money, no whammies, that is from an old game show from, I think, the early 80s or something called Press Your Luck. I don't know all the specifics about how the game works, but basically, you're looking at this game board, and it has a bunch of little tiles around it with like different prizes, different cash amounts, or these little character guys called whammies. And if you accidentally select a whammy while this random pattern is going around the tiles, then you like lose your money or your turn is over or something like that. I think you lose your money. So that's just a rough overview of how Press Your Luck works as far as I understand. So this Michael Larson guy, what he did is he studied a ton of episodes of the show, I think like probably since it first started or something. He had a lot of free time because he was an unemployed ice cream truck driver, believe it or not. But yeah, he spent a ton of time studying all these patterns, and he realized that there was only about 6 patterns for the selector to kind of bounce around between these different prize/whammy tiles. Oh crap, they're gonna pick these all up. Derailed. I just realized these guys are gonna pick up all of the grass blocks and then place them down again. Alright, I'll have to make sure things are well lit. Anyway, yeah, he spent his time learning all these patterns, and he figured out there's only about 6 patterns that the show used. So what he was able to do is pretty much figure out when he needed to hit his little selector button to stop the movement of the game board. I hope you guys are following. I hope I'm doing a good enough job explaining this. So he managed to get himself on the show. He had to go through like an interview process or something like that. And he started off his turn badly, like I think it was on purpose. He lost at first, and then he only made a little bit of money, and you know, it would pass on to the other players. It was kind of like Wheel of Fortune in that sense. And then towards the end of the show, he kicked into high gear with his you know, knowledge of the patterns and everything. And he just went on a rampage. It went past the length of the normal show, so they had to split it up into a couple different episodes. And he ended up winning over $100,000 throughout the course of this game show, and I think that was orders of magnitude larger than most people would end up winning. It sounds pretty crazy, $100,000. And they like looked back at footage afterwards and stuff to make sure he wasn't cheating and whatnot, because they figured something was up. And technically, he wasn't cheating. You know, he just studied really hard, and he was paying attention and being patient during his turns and stuff like that. So he wasn't doing anything illegal. So they let him keep the money. They wouldn't let him come back on the show because, like Jeopardy or something, you know, the reigning champion would come back next time or something. But they didn't let him do that, but they did let him have the money. And apparently, he ended up losing all that money in like bad investments and stuff, which is pretty sad. And I think he had a bunch of it stolen from him because he had a bunch of cash sitting around in his house. So, I mean, the guy won 100 grand, and he still managed to lose it all, which really sucks. He just must not have been very smart with it. But anyway, I thought that was interesting, because I'd heard that big money, no whammies phrase quite often and had no idea where it was from. So I found that part interesting, and just, you know, the whole story behind Michael Larson and what went on with him. So there you go, fun fact of the day. I thought that was pretty cool. Now, this is going to be a real issue with all these jerks trying to steal my stuff. I'm not a big fan of that, and I didn't think to bring a bunch of torches. So if this gets really bad, I might... Oh, you jerk. I might have to run back and get more torches to try to prevent this. You guys are punks, you know that? Just punks. Oop, that's my Silk Touch. I don't need that. I only brought that for my Ender Chest in case I wanted to use that for something. Anyway, there you go. Little story time. Something to pass the time while I mine. And I really can't think of anything else I want to chit-chat about right now. I'm not, I don't have the gift of gab, unlike some people, which is, I don't know. It probably doesn't fit the best with doing YouTube Let's Plays, but I think, this is a big capital T think, it has been helping me a little bit. I'm one of those guys who in real life, if I don't have something important to say, I'm probably just going to keep quiet. But this is helping me gab a little bit better, I would say. But I definitely do subscribe to the notion, I think it was Abe Lincoln who said something like, this is a very loose paraphrase, I think, but better to keep quiet and be thought a fool than to open your mouth and remove all doubt. And I think in the age of Twitter and Facebook and blogging and all that stuff, that is very good advice. And I would recommend you guys think about that. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, that's kind of how I see it. I'm just a pretty quiet guy in general. Hello. Fancy meeting you here. That kind of surprised me. I wasn't expecting to see anybody here. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, I was rambling about not talking. Irony! One other thing, I want to know what you guys think of the Commander Keen videos I've been doing. I know it's a game that not many people are going to be familiar with, at least not a lot of younger people. So, I mean, it hasn't had the greatest impact on my channel. I haven't had a ton of views on it. It's been about normal for me, I suppose. I was hoping to get a little extra exposure, you know, through another game, but maybe I should have picked a popular game instead. I should have done Call of Duty or something. No, but just let me know what you guys think of that. There are a good number of games left in the series that I personally would like to play through. But, you know, if people aren't all that interested in it, I might not bother with it. So let me know what you think. If you enjoy seeing kind of a more retro game or just a different game in general that people might not be aware of. If you hate it and you don't want to watch it, definitely let me know. Or, you know, if you just prefer to see another game instead, I would definitely like to do some Binding of Isaac or Don't Starve or something like that. Those are both games I enjoy playing in my own personal time. I've really gotten back into a Binding of Isaac kick for some reason. Maybe because it's an awesome game, I don't know. So let me know. I love getting feedback. I've whined about that in the past. I love feedback, so let me know. That's what I'm trying to say. If you didn't get it already, that's what I'm trying to say. Just let me know. Alright, so I'll do some more work here. I think I might need to make a run back for torches and whatnot. Probably some more dirt, too. You jerks! And yeah, I'll bring you guys back in once a little bit more progress has been made. So I have done a lot of lighting, and hopefully that will start to decrease the amount of dirt stealing that happens on this project. Because it seems like Endermen really like dirt. Like, they probably need medical help with that addiction. Anyway, oh, Tiny Bat found his silk touch. Hooray for Tiny Bat! Alright, so probably the last thing I want to just chit-chat about during this episode is this blog that I've really been enjoying lately. It is called The Art of Manliness. It's really cool. It's done by just a guy and his wife, and then a couple guest contributors every once in a while. I think the guy's name is Brett McKay. That may not be 100% correct, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. And basically, it's what it sounds like. There's a lot of kind of goofy manliness type of stuff, but there's a lot of like really practical knowledge in there, and some pretty deep like issue discussion things as well. So it's been a lot of fun. I've started way back from the beginning, which is just a couple years back, but there's like 80 or so pages of material to go through. So yeah, I've just been going through that and kind of reading on subjects that I find really interesting. So like I said, sometimes there'll be just like practical stuff like 10 different knots every man should know, or how to polish your shoes, or how to tie a tie, you know, basic stuff like that. And there's also things where people will, write in and talk about their job they have, in case other people are interested. Like, what's it like to be a musician? What's it like to be a mechanic? Things like that. So you can get some insight into other people's lives, and it can help you make decisions for your own life. And there's also stuff like how to treat a woman, how to ask a girl out on a date, how to be a gentleman, things like that. And I've learned a lot of cool stuff by just perusing through this blog, so big ups to that guy. Again, it's Art of Manliness, if any of you are interested. He also does giveaways and things like that for cool gear, or even clothing or something like that. Just, random stuff men might be interested in. I'm in a drawing for a pretty nice bike right now, so I hope that'll work out. Let's see, what have I learned from that site? One thing I've started doing, kind of as a hobby, in direct correlation with me reading that blog, is instead of doing shaving, instead of shaving like everyone else does with really expensive, like Schick Quattro 7 with 10 blades or something like that, that math doesn't make any sense, I have started doing old-fashioned shaving. Shaving with a straight razor. Not a safety razor, mind you, which would also be cool, but a straight razor. It's kind of tricky, but it's been a lot of fun. It's one of those Demon Barber of Fleet Street kind of things, where he runs around and slits people's throat with a straight razor. It's got kind of a bad bad rap for that kind of thing. But it is really cool. And it's not just a hipster kind of thing in my mind, although some people may take it as that. I decided to do it because I was getting really bored with shaving, because it's something you gotta do every day, or almost every day, depending on what kind of guy you are. And it's the same thing over and over. So when you have just a single blade, just unadulterated blade, and you're rubbing it across your throat, you kind of have to pay attention a little bit more, and you have to slow down a little bit and actually, care about what you're doing and be careful. Oops, I almost screwed that up. And it has become kind of a hobby for me. Eventually, I like to get some really nice equipment for it, because you can spend upwards of $1,000 on a really nice, like, German or imported blade. All I have right now is this. I just use disposable blades, and I have a fairly cheap holder for them. So it's not a fully legit straight razor setup, but it's been a very good starter setup for me. I got the holder from this company called Dovo, which is a German company that also makes really nice, like legit straight razors. So I thought they'd be a good company to get started with. But it is wicked, wicked cheap. The holder cost me maybe 20 bucks, if that. And then the blades, oh man, they're like 10 cents a piece, if not less. I got a box of a couple hundred of them, and it only set me back a few bucks. And I've had one for over a year now, and I've still got quite a few of those left. And I only use them twice each before I, two different mornings before I throw them away, because they dull fairly quickly, and it's really not worth it, getting bad razor burn because they are so wicked cheap. So yeah, a couple of reasons for doing that. I would definitely recommend it. It's more interesting, and it's a heck of a lot more affordable, unless you want to get into the really high-end, really nice blades and stuff. And then I guess another reason why I'm using the disposable blades is because it's a lot quicker and easier maintenance-wise. If you have a nice straight blade, you have to also get a sharpening stone and then this thing called a strop, which is like a leather strap that you use during the sharpening process. And those things, they aren't all that expensive, but it is just another thing you have to buy. So with the disposable blades, it's really quick and simple and easy and cheap, and it's been working out really nicely for me. I don't like how this is looking. That's a little bit better. So yeah, just some random thing that I like to do, and I would definitely recommend at least looking into it. You may get interested if you are of the shaving age and gender, because about 90% of the guys who watch these videos are in fact guys. So yeah, look into that. You might also want to look into safety razors if this sounds at all interesting to you. They're kind of in between what most people use nowadays and then the straight razor. They are razor blades, usually a double-sided razor blade, and kind of the typical handle setup that we're used to these days. So kind of a happy middle ground. Anyway, check that out. Definitely check out the Art of Manliness blog. Really cool stuff on there, like I mentioned. It's a good read. There's usually something cool that he's saying on there, whether it's just some morality type things, or stuff that makes men men, or just handy things to know. Pretty interesting. And I'm not getting paid to say this, so it's good. Alright, well yeah, I'm going to keep working here just for a little while tonight probably, because I have nothing better to do, honestly, because I have no life, so I play video games. Awkward. No, I'm just kidding. So yeah, I'm going to keep doing this. Thank you everybody for watching. Hopefully my rambling hasn't been too odd or boring or what have you. So hopefully you'll still tune in next time for whatever it is I'm doing. Maybe I'll hang out with somebody else on the server for a change, because there's a lot of new people I have yet to meet. And I will catch you guys next time, whenever that happens. So, adios.